to the AJ Analysis channel, where we finally got the first live stream of the week. Although I'm just checking and it doesn't appear to be working on my phone. Do we have anyone in the chat and can they see me? Because on my end, something isn't quite working. The plan for today, if we are working, is to talk about Manchester United versus Viktoria Plzeň in tonight's Europa League clash. Are we working? Okay, I think we're working. I think we're finally good. I think we have finally properly gone live. Like I was saying there, the aim for today's stream is to go over the Manchester United starting 11 for the game tonight against Viktoria Plzeň. Because if Ruben Amorim's kind of tenure so far is anything to go by, I think we're going to see some rotation. So I think we've got some decisions to make. And basically, that's where I want the help from you guys today. If you are here, if you are well, if you are good, just drop a little message in the chat and just let me know that things are working. Because I think we're having some technical difficulties here, which I just need to double check. Are we good? Are we good? It doesn't seem to be working properly. Are we good? Are we good? I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Good morning to you all, everyone who has joined. Apologies for the slightly slow start. I think we're now working properly and I think we're good to go. How are we all? How is everyone doing? This is the first time that we have properly spoken since the Nottingham Forest game. That Nottingham Forest game. Have you ever seen such a bunch of frustrating footballers? Performance-wise, I think we were alright. I think structurally we were okay and things like that. But oh my days. Oh my days. The individual mistakes we saw in that game. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Very, very painful. Hopefully today we can come up with an 11 which perhaps, maybe we're dreaming, but perhaps an 11 that isn't going to make so many mistakes. An 11 which can not only compete but actually go and beat Viktoria Plzeň and hopefully give us a bit of a more comfortable night, right? A bit of an easier evening. Good afternoon. No, good morning, Josh. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. Basically we need to come up with an 11 for this game because I think we're going to see a lot of rotation. So what we're going to do today is basically we're going to take out all of the United players and then sort of one by one put the players back in, and then towards the end of the stream we will come up with score predictions and things like that. But we need to start off with the starting 11. You haven't recovered from the Forest game yet. Mate, I feel that. I feel that. It was a painful one. Really, really painful. Anyway, should we just get straight into this and go straight into talking about this position by position? Starting off in goal, I think this is one of those rare games where we do actually get to have a bit of a conversation here. Andre Onana or Altay Bayındır. Now, normally, of course, Onana is number one. And I'm not talking about dropping Onana. Yes, he was really bad at the weekend, but he's still fine. There's not an issue there. But it's a cup game, essentially, right? It's against weaker opposition, much weaker opposition, a game we should be winning. Is it one way you can bring Bayındır into the starting 11? He doesn't get to play very much football at all, does he, bless him? We've seen, I believe, pretty much every single other player used under Ruben Amorim so far. Is this one where you get Bayındır into the starting 11 to show a bit of faith in him, get a bit of confidence in him, some match sharpness? But also, again, teams just do this in the cup, don't they? Teams always rotate in these competitions. Could we do that? Possibly. What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the chat. Do we do a poll? Yeah, tell you what, let's do a poll. We never do a poll for the goalkeeper. Let's do a poll. Morning, David, mate. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Did you guys get a notification for this stream, by the way? Because it didn't seem to launch properly as we started. No weak opposition for United anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, I feel that, mate. Yeah. Yeah, did you guys get a notification for this stream? Because on my end, the stream didn't seem to fire up properly and actually get going. Onana needs to have a rest after the last game. I think it's interesting when we talk about goalkeepers and resting. It's not something you normally think about because your goalkeepers don't do a lot of running, right? They don't cover a lot of yards. It's a fairly easy job for them, if you like, as such. But I think psychologically it must be fatiguing. It must be tiring. It must be really, I don't know, just tough for a goalkeeper. Game in, game out, any mistake is massively scrutinised. Is he a player that perhaps he does need a rest? I'm not sure. David with the gifted membership. David, what an absolute legend. Thank you very much. Guys, if you are a member, even if you're not a member actually, there'll be a green heart emoji you can use. Whack it in the chat to say thank you to David because he is always on these streams, always gifted memberships, and it's gone to Josh. Disgusting. Disgusting, of all people to go to. Thank you very much, David. Really appreciate it. Hope you're well, mate. You got the notification a bit later than normal. Yeah, I think something might have scuffed there. I'm not sure what went on. We also don't have very many people here today, but hey-ho, we will continue anyway. Bayern is dominating the vote early on. I'll tell you what, I think we're just going to let that go. We're going to have that because we don't get to see Bayern very often. So let's whack him straight into our starting 11. Lovely jubbly. I think what we need to consider for this game is rotation. Right, Amorim's done it every single game so far. 3, 4, 5, 6 changes. I'm expecting more of the same. We had a really tiring week. The Arsenal game was tough physically. And then obviously Forest was something. We've got City at the weekend. I think this is a time to get some different players into the team. Marcus, good morning, mate. How are you? Why didn't you go live on Saturday? I don't know if you're in the UK or not, but there's a lot of storms over the weekend, and my electric just died. I did tell people in the Discord, so if you want to kind of get updates on live streams and stuff, do join the Discord server. That will kind of keep you more updated with things. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have any electric, so I physically couldn't. But yeah, I don't think Onana does need a drop this game. You need to start... Wait, let me just read that right. I don't think Onana does not need to drop this game. So you'd put him in the 11. You'd put Onana in 11 and try and get more confidence into him. I like that idea as well. To be honest, I would hope his confidence isn't too hit. I think he's had a phenomenal season. I think he's played really well. In my opinion, he's been Manchester United's best player so far this season. And I would say the best goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. He has a game. He makes errors. Last season, that did seem to affect him negatively, particularly in the Champions League. But I would like to think a player like that can make mistakes and just carry on. Speaking of the Discord server, by the way, guys, if I quickly pin this in the chat, you should now be able to see it. Do I look really dark to people, by the way? I've just realised. What's going on there? But yeah, if you look in the chat, there should now be a link to the Discord server. David, thank you very much. The other day, or earlier, I couldn't do that for some reason. What if we do this? Does that make it a bit brighter? There we go. Maybe a bit too bright, but we'll run with it. Yeah, David, it didn't let me make a link, which is why I didn't do it. So thank you very much, sir. Anyway, let's not put Onana in centre-back. Let's move into the centre-back positions. Again, it's Ruben Amorim, it's Manchester United, so it's going to be a back three. We've got a few options here, I think. We've got Harry Maguire, who came on at the weekend, looked all right. We've got De Ligt, who's played several games now already. Lenny Yoro, who is kind of becoming a bit more of an option. Is it too much football to play him in this game? Do we protect him so we can play him against City? Or does he need the minutes to get some sharpness for City? Not sure, not sure. Johnny Evans, I believe, is back in training, but not actually fit and not with the squad. We've got Lisandro Martinez. We've got Victor Lindelof. We've got Mazraoui can obviously play in the back three as well. Who else we got? Who else we got? Is Dallo an option? Possibly. I feel like I'm missing someone. Who else has played on the left? I'm missing someone. Malacia, Conky, Xerxes, Casemiro. No, is that everyone? Is that everyone? Did I miss something in the chat? Oh, we got another channel member. Thank you very much, sir. Welcome to the gang. If you open up your emojis on YouTube, you'll now be able to see you've got loads of custom emojis and stuff that you can use. So shout out you, mate. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Guys, you know what to do. Be like Josh and David. Turn the chat green. Get some love hearts in the chat. Say thank you. What an absolute legend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyway, is this it for our options at the back? Are we missing someone here? Are we missing someone here? It really feels like we're missing a player. Should there not be another left centre-back option? Mazraoui played one there, so maybe I'm thinking of that. Feels a little bit light. Feels a little bit light. Yeah, I guess Tyrell Malacia could maybe be an option, but I don't think he'll play that position. I think he'll play a little bit higher. That feels like we're missing someone, right? Is that just me? Maybe it's just me. Anyway, I tell you what, let's get into actually picking these positions. And we're going to do it position by position just to make it a little bit easier. Yeah, obviously Shaw's injured, so I haven't put him in there. Johnny Evans is currently out injured. Now back in training, but not with the squad. So this is actually all we've got. Anyway, let's start off with the middle centre-back position. I think the main options are De Ligt and Harry Maguire for now. I still like the idea of eventually Lenny Yoro comes into that conversation. And could be a shout for this position. But I don't think it's the case right now. Because what Ruben Amorim's really been highlighting when talking about him is his athleticism, his pace, his wide defence, his 1v1 defending. Those are obviously all traits of a player playing on the outside of the three rather than in the middle. So I would like to put him in the conversation there, but I don't think Ruben Amorim will at the moment. And like I said, Johnny Evans is, he's back in training, but he's not with the squad. So I think it's Harry Maguire or Matthias de Ligt. So who do we fancy? Whack it in the chat, guys. Let me know who you would prefer for this game. Consider who you think the better player is, who you think is more suited, perhaps in this sort of game. Who needs minutes? Who do we need to protect? All of that sort of stuff. Do consider it. I think if it was me, Theron has said it there. Maguire is good on the ball. He can switch to play. He's better than de Ligt in that aspect. I would really consider Harry Maguire for this game. One, for rotational reasons, right? De Ligt's played a lot of football recently. He has had injury problems in the past, so maybe protect him a little bit. I think I would go for Maguire, though, more than anything, for that ability to hopefully try and break down the defence a little bit more. I think his long passing in particular is phenomenal. He's a great switcher of the play. And if it's one of those games where we're hopefully trying to dominate the ball, break a team down, I think Maguire suits that. I think he suits it. He also kind of ticks that box of trying to rotate the team. He's not played too much football recently. Get him in the side where you can. Protect de Ligt. Save de Ligt for Manchester City at the weekend. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to bring Maguire into this side, right? Several of you guys are agreeing with that. 1 or 2 shouts for de Ligt, but the general consensus is Maguire. I think he just gives us something different on the ball. Now, make it clear, Maguire's not perfect either, right? There are moments where we just play a little bit too slow. And I think he can be guilty of that as well, just kind of plodding along on the ball. But I think on his day, I actually think his work on the ball is actually quite good. So I like him for this game if we're trying to manage the tempo while still having that ability to switch it and go a little bit quicker. So I think I like him for this one. And like I said, protect de Ligt for Sunday, / also getting Maguire ready for Sunday if we need him. My only issue with Maguire is slowing the game down sometimes. It's a weird one, right? He's really good with his progressive play. I think he's a great progressive passer. Some of his passes through the lines are phenomenal, and the switches of play as well. But like you said there, it's more of the tempo rather than the skill set that is the problem. He can play the passes. It's just in moments he seems a little bit hesitant to. De Ligt, I would say, is less comfortable playing the pass while still being hesitant. So I'd go for Maguire in this game, and I think you guys look like you're agreeing. Maguire has good vision, but I think de Ligt is a better passer. He's actually Dutch, remember? I think Maguire's a bit more confident with his passing, a bit more expressive with it, and particularly the switch, I think he's more happy to hit it. Perhaps just because that's something he's done, throughout his career. He's always been asked to play that way, whereas de Ligt hasn't necessarily. At Ajax is trying to play through the lines, short passing. I think Maguire, more than anything, does more switches. I found de Ligt seemed to slow the game down a lot on Saturday at times. It's weird. I think it was partly instruction. I covered it in the video the other day. That kind of drawing the Forest wingers out to then play round and through them. But then in other moments, it's like, no, he is just standing there because he doesn't really know what to do. And Amorim said it again yesterday, talking about the players just being too slow on the ball. You've got to speed it up at times. I think, making sense for this game, it's rotation, right? It's a Europa League game. This should be a game that we win. So I think you can experiment a little bit more. We'll go with Maguire for now, and we'll come back to it. And the reason we're going for him is like Justin just said there. Hopefully there'll be a mid-block. Maguire has a great diagonal on him. That will be our reasoning for now. In terms of the outside defenders, who's going to play either side of him, you would think you probably want a little bit of speed, a little bit of pace, mobility, perhaps 1v1 defending, some ball-playing ability to progress the ball. The options we've got is Victor Lindelof's back in training. So he's an option for this game. Mazraoui, of course, rested at the weekend, so I think there's a decent chance we see him. Although we might protect him for the weekend. Not Johnny Evans. Lissandro Martinez could play on the left-hand side. Lenny Yoro could probably do a job either side. Is he fit to play? I'm not sure. Chris, mate, good morning. How are you doing, mate? How are you doing? In his presser, Amorim said they need to play it quicker. Yeah, 100%. There's moments where it's okay to kind of manage the tempo, slow it down, side to side, but then you got to punch it through the line sometimes. You got to be a bit more aggressive with it, and I think that's what Amorim was kind of saying. Yoro and Mazraoui for 45, then make some changes. I like it. A lot of the lineup is dependent on our play style against City. If we're playing out of the back, we need Mazraoui so we can afford to play Yoro here. I think realistically against City, judging Amorim so far, he will put that emphasis on trying to play out from the back in that game against City. Also in this one. I do think this is an important competition, though. I think it's an important competition. Maybe to open the space, sometimes you need to be slow and invite a bit of pressure. Yeah, it's if you think about De Zerbi, him as a manager, his build-up principles, he puts a massive emphasis on his centre-backs literally just standing there with the ball. They just kind of go. And they wait for you to come onto them. And then they would play through you, particularly at Brighton. He'd done that really well. And like I said, we saw moments. The goal was the perfect example against Forest. Did it slowing it down, drawing onto him, then playing through. I think at the moment, which is fair, it's a new manager. I think at the moment he doesn't quite understand the change of tempo, when to do it. In moments he does it, we saw it for the goal. In other moments it's too slow. I need an Ahmad winner versus City to send Pep packing. Would be lovely, wouldn't it? Would be lovely. We will, of course, be previewing that game tomorrow, by the way. But that stream will be a little bit later, more likely 1 p.m. UK time, which is about 2 hours from now. So make sure you're here tomorrow for that as well. Mazraoui is going to play. You should also remember United really want a first win in Europe. Yeah, we need to get out of this group. Speaking of the group, right? Or the league table, whatever you'll call it. Currently in 12th. We need to be in that top 8. Now we play Plzeň. I think that's how you say it, by the way. I'm not actually sure. Who are just below us. So it'd be good to beat them. In terms of the table, it puts us into a nice place. But we've also got Rangers in the next game as well. And I think, again, that game, because of where Rangers are, I think if we can win that game, it puts us in a really nice place. Apologies if you can hear a doggo barking in the background, by the way. Yes, Malaysia should be starting this game. That is what we were told yesterday. This is a very important competition. I think it is. This is, for me, by far our best chance of a Champions League spot next season. I don't think we're going to get into the top 5 this year. I think it should be our aim in the Prem, top 5. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely. So I think this is a really good way for us. If we win, we go 4th. Yeah, obviously it will depend the results from the other teams, but it's important for us. It really is. Anyway, let's do a poll here, because there are a few players to try and kind of get through and figure out. So we'll start with the right-hand side. It could be Yoro. Could be Mazraoui. Easy for me to say. And I think there's a slight chance it's Lindelof. Purely because, Amorim hasn't minded throwing players into the starting 11 quite early. So I think he's got a chance. But probably a little unlikely. Will we get top half this year? Ryan, mate? It hurts me that we've got to ask that question. But it is a genuine question, isn't it? I think we will. If we win the last 3 games, we automatically qualify for the top 8. You can't ask for much more than that. They're 3 very winnable games. I can't remember who's the last one. Who's the last one? Also, the new Europa League format, right? What do you think of it? Do you like it? Because I do and I don't. I think it works better in the Champions League because you see a lot of big games, a lot of the big teams playing against each other, and you don't just get the good teams naturally and easily going through. So I think it's added a competitive edge to it. But what I do hate about it is that it carries on in January. Normally, by December, it's wrapped up. You're done. You're good. You know what's happening next year. Now, because of this new format, we're going to be playing Europa League games in January to figure out if we've got playoffs after that, which is weird. Apart from that, I like it. I like the whole league tables thing. I think it works well. But it's just the fact that it overlaps into January I don't really like. I've said that since before the season started, the Europa League should be our main focus. Yeah, I've seen you saying it quite a bit, to be fair. It's easily our best chance at getting a Champions League, and it seems a lot weaker than usual seasons. It's because, all the OP Spanish clubs aren't here, right? It's because all the Spanish clubs, which are unbelievable in Europa League, aren't in here. And like you've said, that they can't fall down from the Champions League. It gives us a chance. I mean, I look at that list of teams there, and I know obviously we're in 12th, and we've had an interesting season. I think we're the best team in the competition. Apart from Spurs, probably. But you know what Spurs are like, they can throw it away. To be fair, I don't know too much about Frankfurt and Lazio and Athletic clubs, so perhaps they are better than I'm giving them credit for. But I think we're up there. I think we're one of the favourites, and if we want to be favourites, you got to win these games. Speaking of winning, Lenny Yoro is currently top of the poll. If you haven't got involved in the poll, have a look at yourself. Why haven't you? It's free. Cushion oven. Lets you give your opinion on who you think should start on the right side of the defence. So just open the chat and like tap it. It's pretty simple. Or click if you're on a laptop or something. It's very easy to do. Get involved in the poll. You should do a watch along for today. I won't be doing a watch along, unfortunately. Just not what I'm doing at the moment because of analysing the games. It takes up a lot of the focus. Doing that alongside a stream is tough. But also I watch all the matches with my brother, and that's a tradition that I plan to stick to for now. So yeah, watch alongs will not be happening anytime soon, unfortunately. Maybe one day in the future, we'll see. Also, by the way, if you guys aren't aware, kickoff time is different tonight. It's UK time. It's 5:45, is it? Or 5:15? But it's normally like 8 o'clock, so it's a lot earlier. So make sure you don't miss it. Someone needs to tell Chad as well. Only 29 likes, by the way. That's farcical. That is farcical. We are not going any further until you leave a like on the goddamn stream. We ain't doing it. Leave a like. Leave a like. I'm gonna have some more. This isn't sponsored, I swear. That's an interesting way of wording it, mate. Chris is at 1:45 for you. Ouch. How about you, David? What time is it? The match, that is. Yeah, leave some likes on the streams. It helps. It really does. It really does. Anyway, let's wrap that poll up there. I think we've seen enough. We've seen enough. Lenny Yorotop. It's nice to have him as an option, isn't it? Nice to have him. Anyway, that takes us to the left side. Last bit to figure out. Lindelof, Lissandro Martinez, Mazraoui. Not sure who's going to play here. Really not sure. I think Lissandro Martinez... I don't think he's got going yet this season, to be honest. Not properly going. Not properly. But I think he might play because he has had a bit of time off, right? What was the game he missed? Arsenal. He missed the Arsenal game, right? So he's fairly fresh. He's only played once in like the last 10 days or so. So I think he starts this game. And I think, like Alex has said there, good morning, by the way, Alex. Great to see you, mate. Yeah, I think maybe you start at Sandro Martinez and then you bring him off later in the game. Does anyone disagree with that? Although, what's weird about this team we've now got here, that back three, is 2 games in a row with no Mazraoui starting. Unless we put him at wing back, which we could do. We could do that. 2:45 AM. It's not worth it, mate. I'll be honest, not with work. Not with work. Opinions on the 17-year-old we're signing, AJ? Good question, mate. Good question. I have no opinions. I know nothing about him. I've struggled to find any footage on him. I've never watched him before. I'm not familiar with his name. I'm going to try and find some footage. I'm going to try and learn about him. But, yeah, at the moment, I've got nothing. So, yeah, I know as much as you guys. In fact, you guys might know more than me. Maybe you can educate me on this one. But, yeah, at the moment, I don't really know anything. I'm going to try and find out so we can do a video at some point. But I don't want to, like, rush out a video on a player I don't know about. Because it just doesn't feel right. I don't want to kind of spout a load of nonsense from a compilation. It's not a proper way of gauging a player. So, yeah, not for me. If Mazraoui is involved at all today, play him at right wing back. Yeah, I mean, he probably can play, can't he? Because like I said, he had the weekend off, so probably can play him. Morning, AJ. Morning to you, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Academy players. Yeah, I think he's probably more likely to go into the academy. He's a footballer. Hope this helps. Well, honestly, that's a start compared to some of our signings. Anyway, let's move into midfield. Kobe Mainu, Ugarte. I think they've both done okay at the weekend. Ugarte especially actually was very good. Bruno Fernandes could play in the double pivot. Possibly. Casemiro, I think, has a very good chance of playing this game. A very good chance of playing this game. Mason Mount, possibly in double pivot. Maybe a little bit higher. Not too sure. Eriksen, I don't even know if he's fit. Is Eriksen fit? I don't know what's happened to Christian Eriksen. Is he... I don't know. Don't know what he's doing. And also, I'm going to add in Collier. Because he has trained and is with the squad. And he's a player that I think under Amorim he's got a chance. I think he's got a chance in like that Ugarte role. I think he's got a shot at getting into this team at some point. I'm not necessarily saying tonight, but I think he's got a chance. So let's put him into the debate as well. Casemiro and either Mainu or Ugarte. Mazraoui in the pivot? It's possible if you want to get him in the team somewhere. I really would love to see Mazraoui. Yeah. Eriksen was in the travelling squad? Oh, okay. Okay. Can't see Collier starting. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Maybe a late cameo from the bench if we're in a nice position. I think, again, what we've really got to consider here is the minutes played recently. Ugarte played the Arsenal game, right? Played for the full 90, I believe. And I tell you what, him and Bruno ran themselves into the ground. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted. But I thought, just individually, the work rate that those two put in was absolutely phenomenal. And Amorim actually said after the game, he said, how did he word it? I've known Ugarte for a long time, and he's not a player who recovers as quick as others. Which I thought was a really interesting comment. Really interesting, and it kind of planted the idea in my head that he probably wasn't going to start the Forest game, particularly with his rotation policy at the moment. Obviously, I was wrong there. He did start against Forest. But I now really think he doesn't start this one. I think Casemiro comes in for Ugarte. I think Ugarte gets a break. And for me personally, I think it's about the Casemiro partner is the discussion here. Like I'm really confident Casemiro plays this game. Again, we've got to consider there will be a lot of rotations. Of course, we want to win the football match, but Amorim is working hard on getting to know the players in different positions, but also protecting a lot of people. Even in must-win games like Arsenal, Tyrone Malacia comes into the side, for example. So we will see changes. For me, I don't think Mount will play midfield. I don't think Collier will start. For me, it's Casemiro in one of the two positions. And then I think it's Kobe, Eriksen, Bruno, Ugarte kind of competing for the other. Maybe it comes down to who he wants to start at the weekend. Yeah, that's one of my real reasons behind not playing Ugarte this game. I just think we'll save him. I think we'll save him. Found that comment surprising as well. Yeah, I don't recall him getting rotated out of the team too much for Sporting, so it did catch me off guard a little bit. Ugarte 100% starts City, so no way he does 4 in a row. Yeah, particularly with the nature of the games, right, and the nature of the system, the way that Ugarte plays, he plays with intensity, right? You don't ever get like a 50% effort from Ugarte. It's 100% every game. So I think I do agree with that. Cobby. Cobby started Forest, didn't he? But he didn't start Arsenal. So realistically, he could play again. Perhaps this one is more about looking ahead to the weekend. I'm just trying to think. I think Ugarte gets the night off. Collier, I think, perhaps from the bench late on. Cobby, I think I put it in my thumbnail, actually. My guess is Bruno. But I think we're going to need a poll for this one because I think this is one of those situations where everyone's going to disagree, basically. Someone's going to be unhappy, right? So we'll put Cobby in there. We'll put Fernandes in. Do we put Ugarte in? I don't think he plays. Eriksen. I think they're the 3, to be honest. So we'll stick with them for now. Go with that. Yeah, like I said, I think my vote is I think Bruno will play a little bit deeper. I think Bruno will play deeper, but I may be wrong. He wants to play Mount, which bumps Bruno to the pivot. Yeah, again, if you look at my thumbnail, you get a similar vibe there. Yeah, Josh and Alex, I'm down to play Fortnite at some point. I'm down. I don't have it on PC, but I used to play it a fair bit on your PlayStation. No, Xbox. So yeah, I'm down. I'd say Ugarte and Mainu for City, but one may have to start tonight because you can't trust Eriksen and Casemiro. For me, personally, I wouldn't want Eriksen and Casemiro together again. I just don't like the mobility of it. I don't know a lot about Viktoria Plzeň, to be honest with you. But something that Amorim has said is they are a team of runners, a team that are going to work hard. They're a team of athletes. And he said something very similar for Bodo Glimt, and he was spot on. So I wouldn't go the pair of them. I'd go one or the other, and then you get a bit more legs with them. The problem is, do we want Bruno playing this volume of games? I'll tell you what, I don't like to do this. I don't like to do this, but let's try and think ahead a little bit to the next game, to Manchester City. What sort of team is he going to go for? You see, obviously we've seen Bruno plays in the double pivot, a deeper midfield position. And when we saw that just a few weeks ago, my thought was this can work against the smaller teams where we're going to dominate, we're going to try and progress the ball, try and create. But against the big teams, I think he changes it. However, then we go into the Arsenal game, by far the biggest game we've played under Amorim so far. Granted, we were limited because someone like Kobe was out, suspended. But it was Bruno in that deeper role, and I genuinely think he played quite well. So could Bruno play the deep role against City? And if he does that mean he shouldn't play tonight? Is what I'm trying to figure out, basically. Casemiro Bruno is also not mobile enough in my opinion, so may need to start. Match fitness since Arsenal. Yeah, that's the other thing. Kobe needs minutes in his legs. He does need minutes. You can see at the moment he's still not fully up to speed. Where do you give him the minutes? Do you give him the minutes here, or do you want him for City? It's tricky. Kobe's winning the poll at the moment. Who started the game at the weekend? It was Kobe and Ugarte, wasn't it? You could play Mainu, Casemiro tonight, and then Mount Rashford / Garnacho in front. Save Bruno. I love the idea of saving Bruno entirely. I just wonder if Amorim's kind of thought process might be, let's get Bruno on for 60 and win it in the first hour and then bring him off. I think he might go for that. Might play more of a 3-5-2 versus City. Yeah, definitely an option as well. We'll have a bit more of a conversation on that tomorrow, but yeah, I think that's something that we need to look at. It could be Mount playing that deeper one, like dropping in. It could be Bruno. Definitely something we'll discuss tomorrow. All right, yeah, Kobe's got this one. Oh, by a mile. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than that. Kobe has dominated the poll. All right, then, mate. Lovely stuff. Kobe Mainly, welcome to the team. In terms of if we kind of move with the rest of the team, normally we'd then go to the wing-backs, but we actually don't have a conversation to have at left wing-back because I believe it's been confirmed, right? Tyrone Malacia, which I love. I love seeing Malacia back in the team. I think he done all right against Arsenal, everything considered. He's not played in 17 years, so I think he done all right. Again, it's a great chance to get some minutes in him. It lets us rotate a little bit. It protects Dalot, who has played too much football in the past year. I like it. Right wing back, on the other hand, is a tough one. I think instinctively we'll want Ahmad because Ahmad's done really well in that position. But then there's that debate of, do we want him a little bit higher? Because he's good there. He is good there. There is also the option of, even though I just said rest him, Dalot playing right wing back. And the reason I wouldn't normally suggest this, but he's been playing left wing back so far, and Amorim said Dalot is a brilliant player. Physically, he's really good. Technically, he's good on the ball. He can play both sides, left or right. At the moment, he's playing on the left. But I don't think it's his best position. Amorim's words the other week. So he, I think, in his mind, thinks Dalot is more suited to the right. Is this a moment where you get him into the team? Perhaps. Possibly. I think Mazraoui is a shout. Didn't start at the weekend. So he's rested. He's got a little bit of energy. He's good to go. He could play this game. Although you've got to keep in mind, he hasn't played wing back yet. And you maybe want to save him. And then the other one is Anthony. I think something we also have to consider. Let me see if I can find a quote. We need a poll for this, actually, don't we? Let me set up the poll, then I'm going to quickly find something. Start a poll, I would love to. Right wing back. Nope. I forgot to click on the box. Right wing back. So we're going to go Anthony. What a boy. Oh, all caps. Love that. Anthony. We need Ahmad. We need Mazraoui. Who's the other one? Dalot. I think Dalot's a little bit unlikely, to be honest, but we'll include him. We like to be inclusive, you know. Get yourself in there, Diogo, mate. Bosh. Right wing back. The poll should be up now. And whilst you guys are quickly voting, make sure you do vote, by the way. Let me see if I can find. There's a quick quote I want to find. Basically, what I'm kind of alluding to here is if you look at the formation we've got on the screen for Viktoria Plzeň here, they tend to play in a 3-4-3, which is interesting because a lot of the good thing about the United system so far under Amorim is that the 3-4-3 gives you overloads against a lot of systems, particularly against back fours. It gives you something. You know, those wing backs getting forward overloads the last line. You can overload the middle of the pitch. When you suddenly play against a team who's going to match you in terms of structure, it's going to be an interesting one for United because it almost looks like you could be put more man-to-man. However, I don't think Ruben wants that. Not at this moment in time. I think it's what he wants to get to. I think it's what all clubs strive for. 1v1 excellence. But United haven't got that at the moment. And I think for now, he's trying to put tactical security in place to help the players, overload, things like that. We cannot play the game 1-against-1 in all the pitch like they want. Which says to me that Amorim is a smart bloke, right? And I think we already knew that. But he is very aware that this Manchester United team can't go 1v1 with many teams. Technically, we lack the subtlety, the security, the tight footwork on the ball at times. But I also think physically we can't compete with teams 1v1. You know, if you take the Arsenal team, for example, right? If you're Arsenal and you're trying to set up for a game, defensively especially, you can look at Gabriel. Can he win his 1v1? Yeah. Saliba. Yeah. Calafiori, Timber, whoever. Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Havertz, Saka. On and off the ball, they win a lot of their 1v1s. If you go through the Manchester United squad, you don't have the same thing. I really want to do a stream on that, but I don't know if I've got time this month. But yeah, if you look at the United squad and you go, can that player win his 1v1 in possession but also out of possession? The answer for most of them is no. So, I don't know, is Amorim going to throw something a little bit different in tactically? Because structurally, it looks like it could be man-to-man, but he has said he doesn't want it. Interesting. Pardon me, I do apologise. We struggle when our midfield gets man-marked. Completely. Man-to-man in midfield is a big no-go for us. We really struggle there. What's this poll saying at the moment? 39% for Anthony. Has Anthony ever won a poll? Big day for him. Mazraoui's lower than I thought he would be. Perhaps you guys want to rest him and protect him, which I respect. Dallo as mid should be sold. We're going to figure out the whole who should be sold situation soon. Probably in January, we'll do a stream. We'll go through the whole United squad. Figure out who's got what we need, basically. Who's got what we need. Someone has to add creativity. If you rest all of the good creators, this will be a tough game, regardless of the opposition. Really good point. Malacia, Mainu, Casemiro, Anthony seems super stodgy. Are you the same person who commented on the fact that I always use the word stodgy? Is that you, mate? Or is it just coincidence? Because someone left a comment the other day saying, I've never seen someone use the word stodgy so frequently, and I kind of love it. It might be my new thing. Maybe more of a 3-4-1-2. Possibly. I wonder if he might just tweak it somewhere, just to try and give us an advantage. Not sure. Not sure. Anyway, Anthony has won the poll. Yep. Mazraoui comes out. Diogo Dallo comes out. Enjoy your rest, lads. Ahmad comes out. Or does he come back in here? Maybe. We'll see. In terms of that deep area there, what do I make of this? We're rotating, I'll give you that. Which is something that Amorim likes to do. We've changed the goalkeeper, the middle centre-back. 3 of the 4 across here. We're rotating. I think we might rotate the front 3 as well. And we're in danger of becoming a little bit too rotational. Stodgy analysis? Yeah, you know. I would love to see a 3-4-1-2, but I can't see Amorim doing it. I'll come back to that if I remember, because I think at times, it can become that in a game. I don't think we'll ever line up like it, if you know what I mean. Just seen you put Altay in. Yeah, he won the poll. It was fairly close, but people want to give him a chance, which I love. I don't know if I believe that it will happen, but it's nice to see. Anyway, the front 3 is a tricky one. I think we start up front. Ball progression. Yeah, we might make some changes later on to this team so far. Anyway, we'll start up front. We're going to go Rasmus. Can I use emojis for this? No. All right, we're going to go Rasmus. We're going to go Joshua. Xerxes, of course. And I think Rashford is still a shout for this position, even though I think it's a little bit unlikely. I'll put him in there, though, because those, I think, are our 3 striker options. Boom. With that midfield, I think Bruno starts. Yeah, really good point. I actually think Bruno might play this game a little bit deeper in the pivot, but we'll see. We've got a City game ahead after this, so rotation should be done. Yeah, I completely agree. I just think you've got to be careful with how much you do it. I think you should change... Yeah, that's the poll for the striker, mate. Yep, up front. Did I not put that? I meant to. Yeah, poll for the striker. Yeah, I think we do need to rotate. I think, but Amorim will. He's done it every game so far. I think you can over-rotate as well, though. Because, yes, you need to rest players. Yes, you need to bring certain players in to sharpen up the legs and things like that. But ultimately, if every week you rip up the 11 and start again, you struggle to develop those connections between players, the kind of instinctive movements you see and things like that. So, you've got to be careful. I'm fine with rotation, right? I like rotation a lot. Big fan of it. Big fan of bringing new players into the team, especially in the attack. I think you can do it quite a lot. But you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. I just want to be very clear. I'm not trying to be like Gary Neville, though. I don't know what his problem is. Anyway, Xerxes is winning the poll right now. 61% of votes. Poor Rasmus on 31% and poor Rashford on 7%. Poor bloke. I'd like to see the double brace again, or we can dream. Oh, we can dream, my friend. We can dream. After Onana diving out of the way of Morgan Gibbs-White's shot, I think Bayinda deserves a go. What was he doing? The ball does swerve, but come on. There you go. Let's have a little brief conversation while you guys are on the poll. Who do you blame for the third one? It was the third one, I think it was. Is it Licha or is it Onana? I think Yoro should deal with it better. He doesn't get contact with Wood, which he should. He should kind of connect with him early. Not sure, though. It's not great at the back. Like, Licha and Onana do not cover themselves in glory. Can you hear my chair squeak, by the way? As I lean on the arms. Can you hear that? Not sure. Weather conditions? Yeah, I think it does play a part. Obviously, it was a bloody blustery day. I just don't think you can concede it. I just don't think you can. But he's a human at the end of the day, right? He makes mistakes. Corey, good morning, mate. How you doing? How you doing? I'm going to place a bet that you're voting Xerxes in that poll. I think the problem with Onana is he dives too early. Yeah, to be honest, in terms of shot stopping, things like that, I'm far from like a goalkeeper analyst. I don't really necessarily know what I'm talking about in terms of save technique and stuff. But there is something wrong with what he does. Just particularly long ranges. Close up, I think he's quite a good goalkeeper. Shots from distance are a real problem for him. Now, this isn't a reactionary take. He hasn't done it too much this season, but last season we saw it. There is an issue with his technique. At times it feels like he doesn't move his feet and he just kind of like collapses rather than diving as such. He seems to topple almost rather than diving across the goal. I don't know what it is, but he concedes some goals that he shouldn't. I'm good. Love to hear that, mate. If you actually placed a bet, you would have got some money. I knew it. You're a Xerxes lover. That's proper your type of footballer, isn't it? Like those sleek half-term players. Yeah, that's your type of baller. Love it. By the way, Edward, good morning, mate. Oh, look at that from Alex in the chat. 13 months of membership. That's over a year, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know that. 13 months. That is ridiculous. He said, keep up the great work. This squad needs football IQ. Oh, it needs something. But it does. It does. I kind of put a comment in Discord yesterday as well. The physicality this team needs. We need upgrades up here, but also yeah, we're a way off the top squads. We've got some good players, but we're a way off still. Thank you very much, as always, for the membership, though. Legendary behaviour. Love it. It's probably the elbow. You saying I'm squeaking, or... He has a weird dive, too. Sometimes he jumps up and allows himself to... That's what I mean when I said, he topples. He, doesn't spring. He kind of goes, whoop. It's really weird. It's odd. It's odd. He didn't stay balanced as the shot was being taken slightly and killed him. Completely, yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one because he's also such an unbelievably good goalkeeper in so many areas. I will say, somewhere I've been very disappointed with him is his longer range passing. Short range, I like him. Medium range, I like him in here. I think the long range needs a lot of work. He should be better at it than what he has been. Anyway, Xerxes has won the poll up front, but unfortunately I've lost him. Where is he? Here he is, mate. Lovely stuff. Anyway, now we need 2 inside forwards, 1 either side. We've got a few options. Bruno, no, that's Ericsson. Bruno Fernandes can play left, he can play right. Mason Mount, I think, is a shout for this game because he didn't play Forest. He can play left or right, I would say. Ahmad can play. Ahmad, I would want on the right, not the left. Rashford, it's weird. We always put him in the left side conversation, but we haven't seen him there yet. He's been on the right more. Garnacho, of course, as well. Just looking to see if I've missed anyone. Should we give Lindelof a shout? Probably not. Has anyone seen Bayindir dive before? I've almost forgotten what he looks like in goal. That Newport game was a while ago. He's played 1 this season, hasn't he? Or was it? I'm sure there was a game he played. What game was it? Was it Europa League? Or no, probably Carabao Cup, right? I feel like I didn't complete the word Carabao there. You're right, I love players like Xerxes. Yeah, I can tell. I think I can see the type of footballer you like. Like there's almost like casual, like 5-a-side footballers, a little bit like street footballers. They're beautiful to watch when they get going, I tell you. Would you sell Rashford for 40 million? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, that is a great question. That is a great question. I think the whole Rashford conversation is a mental one. Before I say give any opinion on it, I think it's really sad that we've ended up here. That we're in a position where there's all this negative stuff coming out about him. That, you know, his lifestyle. Who's leaking this information? Is it the club trying to make him look bad? I don't know. But I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame that we're here having this conversation because he came through and was the golden boy at the club, right? And has scored a ridiculous amount of goals in our worst ever era, or certainly up there, right, in recent history. He put his body on the line with some bad injuries. What did he have? Was it like his back was like fractured in 2 places at one point or something ridiculous? He had a bit of bone floating in his ankle and he carried on playing. Like he is, or he should be, everything that Manchester United is all about. He should be. But is he? Is he? Because there are moments where he lets himself down a little bit with work rate. Off the pitch stuff, honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I think most footballers probably do what Rashford has done. Rashford, for certain reasons, it just gets picked up on. I don't think off the pitch he's done an awful lot wrong. On the pitch, I want more from him because we all saw how good he used to be when he was this aggressive player who went at people and off the ball would close people down and stuff like that. He's so good. He can be such a good footballer. But he got paid for it. Well, of course he did. It's his job, right? And he didn't have to play if he couldn't. No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you proved my point there. He didn't have to play if he couldn't. But he went, no, my club needs me. I'm going to get out on that football pitch to help the football club. I'm not going to gain anything from it. I could sit on the bench and get paid the exact same amount. But I tell you what, I'm going to get on that football pitch because my club needs me and I'm going to try and help him out, even though it's going to damage my body. I think that deserves credit. But his level is just not there at the moment. His level is nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. Not even close. Like Marcus Rashford for 18 months now has not been the level of football that we need. You could maybe make the same point for other players as well at the club. But I also just feel like his quality that he obviously possesses. You don't score. He's nearly top 10 Manchester United goal scorers of all time in a horrendous United side. You don't score that amount of goals if you're not a good footballer. He's obviously a good footballer. I genuinely think you struggle to replace Rashford's peak with another footballer on the market right now. Rafa Leao, Kvaratskhelia, he's unbelievable to be fair. But the numbers that these guys have produced in other leagues, some of them don't compete with Rashford. And Rashford's done it in a much harder league and a much worse team. But that's when Rashford's at his peak. And he's not at his peak often enough. Peak Rashford, I think you absolutely keep. You go, yeah, maybe 300 million you can have him, mate. But we don't see his peak often enough. When was the last time he peaked? Ten Hag, first season. Nearly 2 years ago. And even that season, he didn't do it for the first few months. Really difficult. I'll say it like this. I think he was once unsellable, and that is not the case anymore. If the right offer came in, I would consider it. 40 million is too low for me. I think 40 million is too low. He's way too good at football for the 40 million. If you think some of the players over the past few years that have like moved club and have gone for 60 million, Rashford's a lot better than some of them. 40 million, you can't get someone to lace Rashford's boots in an inside forward position. But I think you've got to consider it. I think if, maybe 60? An offer of 60 came in the summer? I don't think it will happen in January. But I think if, you get that 60 offer in the summer, the PSR, it's very good for us financially. I'd consider it. I'd consider letting him go. Which is sad, but also it's a business at the end of the day, right? Football is a business. We need results. And Rashford at the moment isn't someone who gives us results regularly. So, yeah. You have to take his wages into account. I completely understand that. I just think 40 million up front, he's too good. He's too good. Just my opinion. Anyway, moving on. Should he start tonight, eh? Perfect time for the question. Also, I should add, I don't think he will go. Not whether I want or whatever. Just opinion. I don't think he will. Don't think he will. Anyway, let's figure out the 11 for this tonight. How many of those other players were on 325k a week? Not a reflection of the player, we have to remember though as well. The wage is not a reflection of the player. The fee is not either, but we chose to do that. We stiffed ourselves, right? We stiffed ourselves. All right, left forward. Bolsh. Garnacho, definitely an option. He's not unsellable either, by the way. Oh, we could go down a rabbit hole with that one. We'll save it for another day, though, because everyone else is talking about it at the moment. We'll do it once it's quieting down. Rashford. Do we put Mount in there? Mount for the left side? Yeah, let's include him. Although I think he's more likely to play on the right. We'll put him in there. Go Mount and Bruno. I like the idea of it, but perhaps not with the rest of the 11 we've created. I think Mount and Bruno can work if you've got Højlund up front. I don't know if it works with Xerxes up front. Pure profit as well. Oh, trust me, I know the financial benefit of selling Rashford. I just think it's worth more than 40. Rashford may well start tonight. Yeah, see, I think he will start. I think Rashford will start because he didn't play at the weekend, did he? So I think, again, just rotation policy, I think he'll come back into the team. But the issue I've got, right, is I don't like the balance of wing-backs we've ended up with here. But we do need to rotate. So I understand it. But purely balance, let's say we're trying to break a team down that's going to sit a little bit deeper. Particularly as our wing-backs won't have as much room as what they've had recently. Are Anthony and Malacia the players to give us something? Probably not. Probably not, right? So it's tricky. It's tricky. Like, for rotation reasons, for fitness reasons, I think you play these two. I think if you want to win this game, you need someone else in there. But, do these two have the physicality to separate themselves from a wing-back? Because they haven't got the dribbling. They ain't got the dribbling. They're not going to have as much space, so someone's going to be close to them. Physically, can they get past them? I don't think they can. Which leaves us a little bit stuck, maybe out wide. So at the moment in the poll, by the way, guys, poll in the chat, I forgot to say, get involved. Press on a vote. We've got Rashford, Fernandes, Garnacho, Mount. Let me know who you think should play on the left-hand side. I'd sell both for 100% profit if we are to rebuild seriously. I'm over them. We are 13th. They're embarrassing us. Yeah, the issue that I personally have, just for selling the two of them, is one, I think it's a bad image, Carrington, etc., right? But also, I get it, we can't be sentimental. The thing actually more for me is just, I think we've got to rebuild the deep places first. I think we need one or two centre-backs still, which shows what I think of the last two transfer windows. I think we need one or two midfielders still, which again tells you what I think. For context, I rated the summer at a 6 out of 10 in terms of the players we bought in. But I also think we need wing-backs as well, right? If we then need players in the front three because we've sold some, It leaves us needing to bring like 8 players in, which is crazy. So I would hesitate selling them almost for that reason above anything else. We'll see. Yeah, Josh, I'm with you on that one, mate. I tend to avoid it. You'll notice I don't tend to do videos very often on Rashford just because it gets to a point where it goes beyond football, which just isn't okay. So I tend to avoid the conversation so I don't create the environment for it to happen. But it's ridiculous that that's the case, right? That we can't talk about one of our players. Maybe only one centre-back? Yeah, possibly. It depends on development, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, for a positive for Marcus Rashford, mate. You've won the poll, my friend. 37%. Done pretty well, to be fair. Done pretty well. Was that left forward? I've lost the poll. Where's the poll gone? There we go, left forward. So Marcus Rashford on the left. So we've got 4 options for the right-hand side. Mount, Garnacho, Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes. Again, consider rotation. The better player for this game. The fact that we do need a little bit of creativity, but we also need some physical intensity because we're... Oh, I just said something, boys. Rashford, Kobe, Casemiro is 3 of our 4 so far. This 4th player needs to give us some work rate. Needs to give us some work rate here. Because mobility, work rate, intensity, whatever you want to call it, we need some because that 3 is lacking it. So we need an injection in there. Fernandes, Garnacho, Ahmad. Who am I missing? Mount. There we go. I want to keep Ahmad for the next game. Yeah, I think I would do the same. He's a young player, right? And in a way, he's not a young player. He's 22 years old. A lot of players have played a lot more at 22. But I still don't think there's a need to rush him and play him every game. Am I the only one who has a huge problem with how people are happy to get rid of academy graduates? Yeah. Don't like it at all. I don't know. Maybe there isn't that room for sentimental value in football anymore. Maybe there's not. But personally, I always think you just give... It's one of your own. I think you give him a bit more of a chance. By the way, I'm very aware Rashford has had his chances. I just mean generally. Not just Rashford. Generally speaking. Work rate, there's only one guy for it. Mason Mount. Yeah. AJ, does the redemption arc for Anthony start? Oh, does it? I think if you get the right player with him, the right player near him, unironically, yes, if we can control the ball, if we can dominate the ball. Now, I don't know if we're going to or not, but I've said for a long time, I think if Anthony was signed as the same footballer he was at the time, but we almost like froze it and signed him 3 or 4 years later, I think he'd have been a good player for us. Because I think he's a player who suits ball retention. I think his technical work is underrated. His first touch is normally decent. His work in tight spaces is good. He just doesn't offer anything in the final third or getting away from a player. But retention work, he is really strong. Which is what we're leaning towards at the moment. That is the direction we're trying to move in. So maybe for Anthony, could this be the one if we can control the ball a little bit more? Like Alex has said there, it makes someone like Mason Mount seem like a good shout for this game. Oh, I just think Garnacho's on 0% votes. Ouch. I think Rashford and Xerxes click in this system. If it is the case and we do see this team, it'll be interesting to see Rashford on the left inside forward position. Because I've always felt that's his best position anywhere on a football pitch. I've forever felt that. I don't think we've seen him there in this system yet, which is interesting. It's one of the first times he's almost had the potential to play in this system. But I don't think we've really seen it. Has he played on the left yet? Not for very long, anyway. When he started, it's been on the right or up front. Garnacho isn't rated? No, he's getting a lot of hate at the moment. It's the life of a footballer, unfortunately. 1 minute, you're the next big thing and everyone loves you. Do a couple of things wrong, poor performances. Things off the pitch, not sure. Suddenly people don't like you. It's a toxic world out there, my friends. It's a toxic world. Anyway, Mason Mount makes our starting 11. And I'll be honest, I think we need to tweak something with this team. So Mason Mount on the right. Ahmad out. Bruno out. Garnacho out. Now, if we're talking about that starting 11, at the back I like it. I think particularly on the ball progression from the left, yes. Ball progression from the right, yeah, I think to an extent. Ball progression in the middle, yes, I like that, that's good. Cobby, that player who can kind of receive the ball in tight spaces, nice. Casemiro, ball progression, long passing, particularly for Rashford. Something to look at, possibly. Not a big fan of the wing backs, but I almost don't think anyone is. It's a bit more of a like a rotation policy, fitness protection, things like that. I think, I don't know, there's a lot of areas that look good, but there's no creativity for me. If we're going to dominate the ball in this game, you need someone who can find that pass. I don't know who it is here. Xerxes can do it in moments, but only in moments. I don't think consistently. More than anything, I think you're looking for Xerxes to maybe drag this central centre-back out to open that channel, which I think is something we can do. But do we have the guy to then play that? To then play that pass? I think I personally would drop Bruno Fernandes in there. Personally, I would do that. What do you guys reckon? Mount and Xerxes? To an extent, yes. But not enough, I don't think, particularly with the wing-backs lacking it. I think if we had a wing-back, like an Ahmad, for example, or someone creative on the other side, I think Xerxes and Mount might be enough. But with the lack of it out wide, potentially, in this game, I think you need a bit more in the middle, so I would be tempted. I thought you said witness protection. Fitness protection, I must confirm. Fitness protection. Garnacho is 20. I think we need to give him time. 100%. He's played more minutes at 20 than what most of the best players ever did. Give him time. Even I'm not his biggest fan, Garnacho, to be honest. Just purely stylistically, his play style. But I think it's daft to write him off at 20 years old. I think it's very daft. I think a great example at the moment is everyone all of a sudden wants Lookman. He's had 3 really good seasons with Atalanta. But how many years ago was it? He got completely written off at Fulham as just terrible. Just terrible. Not good enough. Why write footballers off so young? Why write footballers off so young? I do not get it. Yeah, I think Collier could have an impact from the bench. I'd like to see him given a chance. Someone has made a good point. Yeah. Can we control the tempo in the middle with these two? Would be the question, but do we have the luxury of tempo control? Perhaps not. Perhaps not. Are you guys okay with that change with Bruno there? It's not ideal. But I think it's okay. Lookman was amazing on Tuesday, late developer. Yeah, he's been really good recently. But like, could Garnacho be a late developer? It just seemed crazy to get rid of him now. Anyway, I think we're going to settle on that starting 11, which just means all we need to do now is score predictions and goal scorers. Yeah, so what you think the score will be, and if you're a member, you can actually predict the goal scorers using emojis. So if you think Xerxes is going to score, you can press Xerxes or whatever. We've only got the forwards, unfortunately, not a lot of the deeper players, but yeah, you can predict that in the chat. So do that, because it looks pretty cool in the chat. Yamal is the reason. Yeah, certain players break the mold, right? Someone, Bellingham, is another one who's been performing since such a young age that you just assume everyone can do it, but it's not the case for so many players. A lot of players don't look like anything until they're 24. Garnacho's 20. He's so young. He's so young. So yeah, if you're a member, basically, do what Josh just done. You can see it in the chat. So he's gone 2-0, and then he's got a little picture of Mason Mount and Xerxes, his goal scorers. I would love a Mason Mount goal, I'll tell you what. More than most. More than most, I would love a Mount goal. Edric, by the way, I didn't realise you had the gold badge. I didn't notice that earlier. What a legend. I think that's a 12-month one, right? What an absolute hero. I knew you'd been here a long time. I didn't realise it had got to 12 months. What an absolute legend, mate. Also, the 3 Rashford emojis. A Rashford hat-trick. Can you... I tell you what. It would kind of be Rashford-like just to hit a hat-trick tonight after everything that's happened recently. Feels right. How old was Salah when he became very good? Beautiful point. Great example. I'm not saying Garnacho's going to be the next Mohamed Salah, but I don't think we should write players off too early. Anyway, we've got 2-1 in the chat with Ahmad and Hoyland. We've got 2-0 with the Rashford double. We've got 2-all. Alex, 2-all, mate. Yeah, I thought Josh was the pessimistic guy around here. Xerxes and Rashford, though. Wow, 1 year. Time flies. Time flies when you're watching boring content, am I right? Or am I right? 3-0 goals from Casemiro, Rashford and Xerxes. We need a Casemiro emoji. 4-1 says David, who's coming in with a super chat. David, thank you very much. Guys, before you do anything else, love hearts in the chat. Turn the chat green. I've learned. In a year, I've learned. Turn the chat green. Easy. Easy. What was I saying? Anyway, David, thank you very much for the super chat. 4-1, the goals from Bruno, Anthony, and Rashford brace would be lovely. Mods in caps, I love it. It was sarcasm caps, so I will allow it. It was sarcasm capitals towards Alex. It's an inside joke. It's fine. Look at the chat. It's beautiful. Turn it green. From the sounds of Amorim's press conference yesterday, he has no money to spend in January and must work with this squad. We are in trouble. I don't think we were ever going to see a lot in January. I think we might see a left wing back of some description. If we can find one cheap, if we can find one approaching a contract end in the next 18 months. Apart from that, we don't tend to see much in January, to be honest. So, it does not surprise me. I also don't think he's going to come out and say, I'm going to sign loads of players. Because what would that say to the squad? Know what you mean? Yeah, honestly, Josh, I didn't even clock it enough to care. You're good, mate. You're good. Anyway, yeah, unless we've got any more score predictions or any last-minute questions regarding this match, we're going to start wrapping up there. I don't trust this squad. Check. They'll be up for it in Czechia. Yeah. Yeah. Bobby the Bob, good morning to you, my friend. Unfortunately, you've joined just as we were wrapping up the stream, but I hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. Well, it's good afternoon now. Oh, time does fly. Time does fly. In January, once we got Evra Vidic. Yeah, I'm just saying generally, typically it doesn't happen. Obviously, we got Bruno in January as well, but normally it doesn't happen too much. It's not writing him off. Garnacho's profile is just not a good fit. That argument, I am far more okay with. Garnacho bad, not a good argument. Garnacho's profile doesn't fit, good argument. Like it. I like it. Anyway, do I have... Yeah, last thing. That needs to change. We need to go up. We need to be in that top 8 because we do not want the playoffs. We don't need 2 extra games. We don't need 2 extra games. We need to get ourselves in that top 8, nice and comfortably. Beat Viktoria Plzeň tonight. Rangers next. I can't remember who the third one is. Did someone say Basel or something? I haven't made that up. Not sure. Hate uni. I missed the whole stream. I hope uni's at least going well, mate. 45-0 and Bruno scores all the goals. I don't think you've put 45 Brunos there, though. Just saying. Point Scout app. Got to get this win? Yeah, 100%. Good place to leave it. Got to win. Got to win. We've got to win. There's no other choice. We've got to win tonight. We have got to win to have any chance of getting in that top 8, of feeling good as the squad. We need to get that bounce back, all right? We need to get that bounce. Normally, a new manager comes in, new manager bounce, and then suddenly it's gone after, how many games? Honestly, I think it went after the Ipswich game. We genuinely, because of the way the fan base operates, it genuinely felt like we lost a new manager bounce after one game. And we got a gifted membership in the chat. We have. What an absolute legend. I don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. Anyone who is on this channel regularly will know that I can't read. I'm very bad at reading. Could you what's the word? Can't think. Could you sound out or spell out how I pronounce your name? Because I don't want to offend and say it wrong. So I'd rather just ask, if that's okay. I don't mean to offend. But regardless, thank you very much for the gifted membership. That's very kind of you. It went to Marcus. So Marcus, if you are here, make sure to say thank you. And everyone else in general, love hearts in the chat to say thank you very much to this absolute legend. What a hero. Thank you very much for the gifted membership. You also became a member yourself today as well. So thank you very much, mate. I appreciate the support. Veno Gopul? Have I said that right? Veno Gopul? I don't want to say it wrong. I'm working on my research thesis and it's kicking my butt. I feel like I'm United this season. Yeah. Vinu Gopal, more like that. Dyslexia is real. HA's still cool if you can't read. I'm not even dyslexic. I just, more than anything, I can't even pronounce anything. I can read, but it murdered it. 6 out of 10. We'll take it. We will take it. We see that as an absolute W. I'm so sorry for butchering your name, mate. I do appreciate the membership and the gifted membership as well. Absolute hero. Anyway, for today's stream, I think we're finished there. Got nothing else to say. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this stream. We will be live again tomorrow previewing the Manchester City game. But that'll be later. That'll be later in the day. A good try. Second attempt was 5 out of 10. Join the Discord and send me a voice note of how to say your name or something. I can't keep getting your name right if you're going to be a legend with the memberships. Not sure. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching the stream. I got a little bit carried away there reading the chat. Thank you guys very much for watching the stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hopefully Manchester United give us a win. I'll be here tomorrow with a video breaking down what happened. That'll be out in the morning. In the afternoon, we're looking ahead to City. Is this a time of year where we can actually beat Manchester City? Who knows, but that's a conversation for tomorrow. We'll get there when we get there. In terms of today, we are finished there. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the stream. Thank you to everyone who's been involved in the poll, all of that good stuff, the likes, everyone, legends. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one. If you're new here, when it comes to ending a stream, OBS, YouTube doesn't like me. So the stream will just kind of randomly stop when I'm halfway through a sentence. It's a fun game. If you want to join, get in the Discord server and let me know what is the last word you hear in this stream. Because like I said, it tends to stop randomly. I'm just going to keep waffling. And at some